Hello, and welcome to episode 95 of Nintendo Therapy, a show about the latest Nintendo news and rumors, as well as a celebration of all of the things Nintendo. My name is Kevin, and with me this week on Talon 4 to talk about Metroid Prime, backlog playtime, and a game with Mr. Mime is Harrison. How you doing, Harrison?
Hey, welcome back. If you're joining us on YouTube today, as well as the past couple of weeks, this is the first time me and Kevin are joining on video. But if you're joining on audio, it should be kind of the same, just that we are looking at each other right now. We are very much we are self-produced, so we're kind of figuring everything out. If things aren't perfect today, just think of it as our ongoing tech demo. So,
Yeah,
uh,
this
hey,
is beta.
yeah, yeah. So,
Um,
welcome back.
Yeah, and seeing that it's just a slow news cycle lately until we dial up to the actual news for the Switch 2. Well, I mean, we've gotten a little bit of news for it. I figured we would just, have more of a free form conversation and make this into an actual therapy session for what we want to talk about Nintendo wise. Get our Nintendo therapy out. So, I don't know if you want to go first. Let's hear it. What's going on in your mind for Nintendo this week?
All right, so I will choose because today is we're recording on a Thursday. It's Friday morning where I am, but it's my birthday today.
Oh,
35 years old. So yeah, had a pretty normal day, worked and everything, but I did pick up some games in agreement with my wife, my family, I guess. So I picked up. I need to pull it up because it's been such a long day. Okay, I pulled up. I picked up the last three DLC from Vampire Survivors because there's been three that's been released since the Switch version came out. I bought a couple of indie games. I'll shout them out. Widget Inc., Rack and Slay, which is a billiards roguelike, which I'm excited about. Vampire Hunters I bought on Switch, which is like a first person Vampire Survivors. It's like Vampire Survivors meets Doom. It's really interesting. And then the one I wanted to talk about, which is why I did this part today, is Yakuza Kiwami I bought for Switch. I haven't played it yet, but it was $20, and I've been talking about Yakuza for since this podcast started. I'm sure. Um,
yeah, and you
so
can't beat that price. Happy belated birthday, by the way. Or
then,
belated.
yeah.
Is it your birthday? I thought you said it was yesterday. No, today?
Well, well, where you live, it's today. It's the 7th. It's today. It's where you live
Oh, okay, I
today.
get you.
Where I live, it's the morning after, and yeah, well, we actually didn't do too much. But it's been a nice I think birthdays are great. Birthdays have turned into like you know you did it. You did it, Harrison. You survived another year. So yeah, so my question to you is, when you think about Animal Crossing, is the obvious one for me, of course, with birthdays. But is there any
Mhm.
other games that come to mind, either with a birthday theme or when you think about your birthday? Any games come to mind?
Birthday theme. Well, you could always get gifts on your birthday in the Harvest Moon games. I remember that was always fun in Harvest Moon 64 and the PlayStation 1. I think it's called Friends of Mineral Town. So that was good. The good birthday game in there. What else do you input your birthday for? I feel like it happens all the time, and now I can't think of a single example.
Uh, Animal Crossing is the one that I always think of because it's on that cycle. And I was trying to think, like, I know I've gotten plenty of games for my birthday, um, but but yeah, I am sending it.
Yeah,
over to
I have a
you.
core memory. I have a core memory of getting Super Return of the Jedi one birthday on the Super Nintendo, which still is my favorite of those three Star Wars games they released back then. And little did we know at the time how we were about to get some of the best Star Wars games ever on the next generation.
Mm.
Like, the Shadows of the Empire kind of kicked that off with the Nintendo 64, and then you got the Rogue Squadron games and stuff like that. But yeah, I remember getting Super Return of the Jedi one birthday. Um, Trying to think if there were any other birthday games. My birthday's in May, so it's not a very popular time of year for big releases. So like, cause like summer releases tend to come out like the next month in like June or July. I think Bomberman 64 was a good one. Um, but nothing else I can think of. How about you?
I don't know. That's it. I'm sending it over to you. What do you want to talk about today?
Um, so I had a few things on my mind this week for Nintendo, especially since I missed last week's podcast after getting that flu shot. The first thing lately, and I feel like for the first time, it finally clicked why people call this game such a masterpiece. Like I'm just like super into it this playthrough. I'm almost done. I'm like right at the end. And I've played it before on the GameCube. So I don't know if the remaster is what did it for me or if I've just grown so much since that initial GameCube release or what, but I'm almost through that. That was in my backlog and I'm just like, wow, it finally clicked. Like all of the Metroid franchise is finally clicking for me. Like last year I played the Game Boy Advance games. I played Zero Mission and I played Fusion and this year I played Dread, which I got super into, and now I was super into Prime. So Metroid is really climbing that ladder fast of Nintendo franchises for me. So that was one of the biggest Nintendo things I did this week was just get super into Metroid. Um, which brings me to my backlog. Yeah, I was talking on this podcast a while back about how I want to be finished with my backlog before the Switch 2 drops. I did get Brothership today. I haven't had a chance to play it yet. But that, as far as I know, is the last like release for the Switch, at least that they've announced so far that I'm interested in getting. So it's time. It's time to get and finish all those games that I've bought. The ones that I haven't finished so far, I've got the Dragon Quest 3 that they released before they even thought about doing the HD remakes. It was those ones that are kind of like a pixel remaster. I have the first three, and I played one and two. Now it's time for three. New Super Mario Brothers Deluxe. I've never finished that game. I have it on the Wii U, and I also have it on my Switch. Never finished it, so got to get that one done. Golf Story. Ended up giving up on once, and I want to go back to that because what happened with Golf Story is it was one of those things where you take like um a few days off or a week off from a game, and then you come back and you just don't have the skills anymore. So like I have to like relearn how to golf in that game, so I might as well just start the whole thing over. And then Doom 3, Doom 2016, I got when they went on sale with all the Doom games for like 20 bucks. Ukulele 2 is in there. I bought that when you tipped me off that it was like $3 one week. So
Mm.
had to get that. And going all the way back to my Wii U, I had a game I bought on my Wii U that I never finished, which was Yoshi's Woolly World. So that's my backlog. I finish all of those before a Switch 2 release.
I so I'll give you the numbers for my for Switch, only for Switch. It's
Okay.
it's not PC, which is something different. Um, games that I have or games that I want to play that I have on Switch. is 14 games. Um,
Mhm.
Games that I have played, but I want to play again, either to like stream or do some content or just not done with. 5. And then on Switch Online, there's at least 5 games. So Switch Online, for example, I want to finish Adventure of Link, Earthbound, well, both Golden Sun games, perhaps, Oracle of Ages and Seasons. This is more than 5, and Minish Cap. 5 to 7 games, I guess I'll say, and there might be more.
Yeah,
Chrono Trigger. Chrono Trigger. There we go. Like,
that's a
um,
great one.
yeah, yeah. Like, there's other ones too that I wanna finish that will be on the next system, but yeah. I know we'll talk about backwards compatibility in just a bit, but there's a ton. There's still a ton that I want to get into. Golf Story is great. I have finished Golf Story a couple of times. So if you ever want to stream that game, I'll pop on with you. It's a fun
Yeah,
one
I
for
definitely have to
sure.
start it over from the beginning. I have no idea where I left off. I feel like I was pretty far into it. But yeah, you've definitely got your work cut out for you with that massive backlog there. Like it's
Yeah,
just one of those things where I don't know. And you know what I've also been craving lately is like I think after I finish Mario and Luigi Brothership, I might go back and play just a comfort game because I've been spending so much time playing new game after new game after new game that like it's fun, but like every now and then you want to play a game where you already know how to do everything and it's just second nature and it's a comfort game. It's like it feels like going home, you know? And I haven't played one of those in a while.
I mean, it's always building. I mean, especially with the Switch, like they're always like porting new games, like Yakuza,
Yeah.
like Yakuza, and Yakuza is going to be like at least a 50-hour experience if I actually played through it. And oh my god,
Well,
I'm
I got
so
the Metal
excited.
Gear Solid collection, and that's going to be a ton of
Yeah,
hours. But those are perfect examples of comfort games where I've played those games a million times. I'm not including that as a backlog game
yeah.
because I've finished all of them before. It's not something I haven't finished, even though I didn't finish the one on my Switch. It doesn't count to me. So, yeah, that might be what I go to for my comfort game after Brothership.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. I'm sticking on this um, topic as it transitions then, because but sometimes you want to play games that you're familiar with, but you have all these other games that you should be playing. So speaking of which, Stardew 1.6 came out on console, which I'm just way too excited about. I
Hmm.
guess this is a game that um I just want any excuse to play. And at this point,
Yeah.
like on my Steam Deck, I play modded, and of course on this I play vanilla. So it gives me an excuse to play the vanilla 1.6 experience, and it's been super fun diving in again. Um, just remembering all the new items just from the very beginning that they've done. I started a new save because I'm like, yeah, it's just it's just time. I pretty much just take breaks playing this game. It's one of those you
Yeah.
don't quit it, you just take breaks. Um,
That's the type of game that you just want to take a week off work and just do nothing but play Stardew Valley for a week.
right, and I'm so many hundred hours into this game, and I'm still like, there's a lot that I don't know. There's a lot of the lore I don't know that I'm still learning about. There's mechanics I never used that I really don't ever use that I'm still learning about.
Hmm.
And when I and like min-maxing isn't my gameplay style, but it is kind of fun sometimes. But I'm not good at it. like compared to like the people the streamers that I watch do it, like trying to do as much as you can in like a season. That's not the point of Stardew, um, of course. But I started playing Stardew like really hardcore right before I started doing this pod. I had played it before, off and on, but I had played it actually when I was out of town one time, and it was a really just like hard part of my life. And although like it was just kind of like a cope and I was fine, like it was nothing dire. Um, this game always has a memory of um, just helping me get through that hard time and helping me kind of pass through that time. And luckily, I can play it now and just remember it in hindsight and think like I don't have to be sad now. I was just not doing that good then. So my subtopic is games that I play when I'm sad or upset. How about you? Uh, do you have a
What games do I play
sad
when I'm
game?
sad or upset? Is
Do
that
you
what
have a
you're asking?
sad game? Yes.
It used to be Harvest Moon 64. It might be Stardew Valley now. But let me see a few others. There's Toe Jim and Earl on Sega Genesis. I like to throw that one on a lot. That one's so like funky and upbeat. Like it's kind of hard to be sad while playing that game, so it's great at cheering you up. Uh, Geez, I was just talking about comfort games too. All of the Legend of Zelda games, really, which is why I think I got stuck in that period where I was just kind of playing every Zelda game in a row, and then I'd finish the most recent one and just go back to the NES one, and I was playing them in release order, and I would just cycle through the Zelda series repeatedly, um, because it was such a comfort series. So yeah, that's probably them. I feel like I'm missing a big one. Say some of yours, and I'm gonna think here for a second.
Some of the music in Zelda are like it almost gives me that sort of emotion. Like I was watching some like YouTube of like some piano player. He's like playing Zelda on a street piano, and people are like, "Oh, is that
Mhm.
like what is that? Is that and it gives
I
me
think a
sort of
boring answer. I think a boring answer, but definitely a true one is Mario 64. That one's one that I always return to because like every time they've released Mario 64, I've gotten all 120 stars in all four save files. So I've done that on every single, like when they put it on Virtual Console, when they put it on Wii U, when they put it on the Switch, both Switch releases I did it for. So like it because it's such an easy game to just be like, okay, I'll just do a star. It takes 5 minutes, and then you come back to it. Especially now that you have save states on the eShop, the uh Nintendo Switch Online. So a good amount of them. So now you can say yours.
yeah, I mean, Animal Crossing got me through like lots of hard times, and it was also that first game that I had was like really thinking about like oh like it's just so on. It's like I'm at school and the world's going on. Um, a short hike I want to shout out. A short hike is available on Switch, and it's a super short indie game, and it's very Zelda. I want to say Animal Crossing inspired, and it's such a good feeling game that I've played it. Maybe when I'm sad, but like I've also played it like just like when I'm like on a plane or something when I just need to like just relax. um, but the only thing about that is you fly in the game, and I've experienced that like
Uh,
sometimes like when I fly in a game and I'm on a plane, it's kind of strange. Yeah,
mhm.
I don't know. I don't know. What is your next topic?
So the next topic I had was that I'm almost done with Pokemon Blue. I've been thinking about going through the Pokemon series in order just because I missed out on so much of it, and this is definitely motivating me to do it. So I think I'm going to continue with Yellow, and I might live stream it for our YouTube people. I don't know exactly how to set that up yet, but if I can figure out a way to live stream my playthrough Pokemon Yellow, I'm definitely going to do it in random chunks. I don't know what day I would specifically set up to stream, but I got to figure that out. It's, working two jobs, you never have enough time to do the things you want to do, but it's something that's on the table. And
For
just thinking about those old Pokemon games, I'm just starting to wonder, like, it's been almost 20 months now since the Wii U 3DS eShop shut down. And I'm just like, when are we gonna be getting those early Pokemon games on Switch or Switch 2? Because I don't know. I think it's suspicious that they haven't shown up on the eShop, which makes me think at some point they do plan to bring them to Switch Online. It's just like when. But it's just crazy to think that up until 2 years ago, or whenever they shut down, it was like 20 months ago, they shut down the Wii U eShop. You could buy Pokemon Red and Blue, and I think all the way up to the Game Boy Advance generation on the eShop and just play them on your Wii U and play them on your 3DS. So when are they going to re-allow us access to those games?
I have my thoughts as I
What's that?
as, as I kicked over my main light.
Oh, is that what
uh,
happened?
yeah, yeah, see,
All
yeah.
right.
Okay, audio only. Yes, yes. If you heard a crash, that was me kicking over my main light. I might fix it later. Who knows? My thoughts is that it's not coming at all. No, it's not.
Ever?
To Switch Online? No, I don't think so. I think
Or to
there
Switch in
is.
general. So do you think they'll be on the eShop the same way they were on the Wii U?
No, I think if they're gonna do that, they just remake the whole thing again. Unless they're gonna give us um I don't know. They did it on 3DS, they did it on Wii U. They have the Let's Go series, which is Red and Blue,
Hmm.
on the Switch. I think they're looking ahead and they're thinking, no, like there's too much. There's just not enough money. I think, like, in it, because they will and they can re-release those games over and over again, um, and they'll make money off of it. So my prediction is that it hasn't come yet. Pokemon Stadium has been out for this long. It's just not coming because they want people to focus on games that they can monetize not on the subscription service but through in-app purchases or through hardware. So I think if we haven't got it now, we're not getting it. It's been wishful thinking. It's unfortunate. It's not right. So um, that's my prediction.
Yeah, I don't know what I believe of them coming because it almost seems too good to be true. It's like you said, it seems like something that has a lot of value in it for Nintendo, but I also at the same time feel like at some point they got to do something with them, like maybe releasing a collection as a purchase that like not Switch Online, but like something where they release a actual like almost like the Mario All Stars collection or something. They might do that at some point, but I think at some point they should make those games available to modern players. So we'll just have to wait and see if they do.
I don't know. I don't imagine the Let's Go games took that much. Like, when I say that much effort, I mean in comparison to making a whole different Pokemon game. And if they wanted to go the route of making like uh brilliant diamond shiny pearl, but make it as fire red, leaf green.
Hmm.
I don't. I just. I think that would be like it wouldn't cost them that much money to do, and they could turn around and sell it for $60, and then just find out a way to import your Pokemon into Pokemon Stadium, or give us a whole nother
Hmm.
Pokemon Stadium. But um, you know, I just don't think that the franchise is going that direction because too many people will be playing it. I think. I think everyone who has a Switch Online service who wants to play Pokemon already has Pokemon games, and then they're gonna be motivated to play games on a subscription service that they already have. Um, I just think it's more likely that we would see a 3D remake, but we already have Let's Go. I don't know. You see,
Yeah.
I just there's so many directions Pokemon can go.
Hmm.
Like a Let's Go series of Gen 2. We're getting Gen 10. There's so many different ones that they could do. Um, that that's my next topic I want to talk about. So it's pessimistic. It's unfortunate. That's my thought.
All right. So
Um,
what is that next topic? Is it Pokemon related?
are you ready to talk about? Are you ready to talk about trading card game? Because I
Oh
am.
yeah.
Because I'm only one level behind you now.
Oh wow. So you must have been marathoning. Um, yeah, I'm obsessed. Like I can't stop playing it. I played at work. We've got I finally started doing the player versus player games, which I've had a few glitches. Hopefully they touch that up. Like I was in a player versus player game and the my energy froze when I was dragging it over to the card, and it wouldn't let me move it. And so I lost that match because I couldn't add energy to any of my cards, and I just kept hoping it would fix itself, and it just never did. So I had that as a weird glitch at one point. And other than that, I'm just hoping to get better at it. I'm trying to figure out how to make my best deck, which is like an art in itself of trying to figure out which cards to put in there and balance the different types of energy and stuff. So, um, from someone who had never touched the card game before this app came out, it has fully taken me over, and I'm like I'm all in at this point.
Well, for someone who was fully invested in the card game through Gen 1, yeah, kind of through Gen 2, but Gen 1, this is just, I mean, it's just nostalgia central. Like I think the first time this app really clicked with me, uh, this past Friday, I was just at a school. I was filling in, and I was like at a cafe on break, and I had like an hour just sit, drink coffee, play the game, open some packs, got some good pulls, and like it just really took me back to like all of those like lived in experiences that became those core memories that I had back then. We'll talk a little bit in the spotlight later as well, but like I was part of a Pokemon League at a KB Toys. I think it was on
Oh,
Wednesdays we would go. It's
hmm.
on Wednesdays, and they gave like a book, and you got badges, and I don't know how much it actually cost my parents to do it, but it was right next to a Borders Books where they also had a Pokemon League. It was huge. Like there was Pokemon leagues everywhere at one point, where you'd get together random people, lots of different ages, and you play the trading card game. Um, so there's that. And going off of that with the gameplay, and I assume they're going to do this. This is my prediction, but I'm hoping and assuming they'll go to the 60 card traditional rules at some point, and whether that means they start putting energies in packs or they just give us the energies for free, and they let us build the packs as we want. I really hope that we get to play traditional 60 card deck rules, but I do like this idea of doing the 20 card just to get all different uh, all different experiences into
Hmm.
playing the game because it's a lot less overwhelming to do this 20 card. You get an energy every round. Um, it affects the gameplay style a lot, but that's my biggest hope with this game.
Oh, speaking of gameplay style, I think I've picked up on a style that some of the people are doing in player versus player mode, where I could be, maybe this is my conspiracy brain thinking, but I've played a few players that take so long to do their turn that I think they're just banking on you conceding so that they win the match. Like, I think that's a strategy that's out there, is they're literally running the clock out. I've played three different people now that ran the clock out on, you know how it gives you a time limit? I think it's like a minute and a half per turn. They took the full minute and a half each turn. And I'm like, come on, guy. But I didn't give them the satisfaction. I played those matches out.
It, yeah, yeah. Freeze offs are a thing with I think lots of PvP. So I'm sure that it is
See, I don't
because it
do
exists.
online gaming or anything at all. So this is all new. That's news to me. What you just said, that is like a thing. It was just something I picked up on where I'm like, why isn't he going? Like, come on.
Yeah,
Um, it's
yeah,
literally like the first turn where there's like very minimum stuff. It's not there's not a lot of decision making in the first turn.
yeah.
Um,
Um, but it gets benefit of the doubt. I haven't played PvP yet on here,
all right.
so I can't speak on the actual performance. The whole performance for me has been fine. I touched last week on um, I I hope, but it's wishful thinking that they'll give us options on the animations because some of it just takes way too long, in my opinion.
Mhm.
But Pokemon has never been that respectful of time, so I don't really think it's gonna happen. But it's fine. It's fine. There's been no big
Well,
crashes or anything like that. Um, Overall, it's been a pretty good. I do have the premium now, but the free to play experience has been quite nice. But it's just a matter of how much content they're going to be giving us because I'm hoping they give us um, a fair balance of offline and online play because that's what I want.
mhm.
I'm I'll be more of an offline player if possible, and that's cool
Me too.
because I can play at my own pace. I don't have to worry about because I do get anxiety in PvP like oh they're waiting for me like
Yeah.
the other person's waiting for
I
me I gotta
still
play.
I still think in that solo mode the coin flip is rigged.
It
I
is.
talked to you about that all this week. I think it's a 1 in 8 chance of heads is what I've kind of, at least in my mind, determined it to be, instead of 50-50. I feel like that's about what I'm rolling for heads.
Yeah. Well, the pack odds have to be rigged, and uh, s- Central Leagues has already determined that when you cycle through the packs, it's already predetermined. So it's
Well,
fun.
apparently, in certain areas, they are legally obligated to divulge the odds of any what was the exact terminology? It's like anytime there's a randomized loot crate or something in a game, there's certain places where they legally have to give you what the odds of those are. And that's how people were able to debunk that theory about how the bent packs that you were talking about,
Um,
is they said if that were true, they would legally need to give you the odds of the bent pack. So the bent pack doesn't have any different odds than the other one, and different things like that.
yeah. But I still cycle through them because
Hmm.
apparently like
Oh,
once you hit the
me too.
screen, it's all the same. Um,
Uh,
is it so?
So you're gonna open the same pack no matter what once that screen gets
Right,
on.
once you hit that screen, so
So
it's still
that
kind of fun.
that reminds me of That reminds me of when the Mario Party games dropped on Switch Online. I remember trying to just like cheat like a perfect Mario Party game. And that was when I learned that the first Mario Party, your dice roll is predetermined. Because I was trying to do save states. And and it was like I would save and then it would be my turn and I'd roll the dice and then I'd try to re-roll it and keep hitting the same roll. And I'm like, what the heck? Like, but all the Mario parties after the first one are not like that, but that was just something that really broke my brain. Where I was like, "Oh man, the dice roll is predetermined. I don't like that."
Yeah,
Um,
it's the
but
same as like
yeah.
it's the same as like in like Pokemon games that like some shiny starters are hard locked. So if you want a
Mhm.
shiny starter in like Emerald, I think, you have to reset your whole game. Like you can't just soft reset if you're using an emulator and do a save state, but it's already predetermined for when you start your game.
Oh,
Um, so yeah, yeah, there's lots of examples of that, I guess.
it's the
Last thing
best
out.
feeling in the best feeling in the card game. I just want to say before we're done talking about it is this has happened a few times to me where you open an amazing card that you haven't seen in the game yet. Like nobody has played it in PvP, nobody's played it in the battle mode, the offline mode. So you didn't even know this card existed and you find it. That's the best feeling so far. Is I got a Lapras that was like that. That's different than the Lapras that was in the event. It's like a it's like a special Lapras card. And I was like, oh, I haven't seen anyone use this card yet. This is awesome.
Well, no spoilers for anyone listening, but some of the animations for the cards are incredible. I was not
Hmm.
expecting that. So that was a nice surprise. Last I want to say is that the flare idea is a lot of fun. It takes a
Hmm.
little bit too long, as I said, like with the animations, but like it's like combining the cards to get new flair, and you get higher and higher flair. I might be wrong. I don't think I am, but what they need to do with flair, in my opinion, put numbers on the cards because like for example in MLB The Show you collect cards and you upgrade them, and then every time you upgrade you see what number you got in the world. So for example, there's a person I follow. Last year he got over 200 one of ones, which is crazy. Like he
Whoa.
plays like 20 hours a day. Like he has a problem. He's crazy.
Yeah.
But I think they should add that because how much fun would it be to like get a card and be like, oh my god, like 200 in the world, right? Like
Hmm. Oh
like
yeah.
so that's what I want to see, because I want to see people not just having the rare card, but fighting over the rarest version of that card. Like who can
Hmm.
get the
Hmm.
last flare on the whatever the top card is we have now, you know. So
Yeah,
if they don't use that, I think that's a missed opportunity. Um, because yeah, add more, add another element to that game.
for sure.
Um,
Is that
what
all of our stuff before the spotlight this week? Because it's a good segue.
straight backlink now. Switch. Um, Switch 2 is going to be backwards
Oh yeah.
compatible. We have confirmed
Yeah,
that.
we should talk about that. Yeah, I
Um,
mean everybody suspected it. Everybody pretty much was like they'd be crazy not to, but it's better that it turned out the way we expected than the other way.
um, I do want to say the reporting on this has been interesting, because like I've seen reporting saying that it's confirmed that all games are backwards compatible, but then some places I've been reading they say we don't know the details. So I guess my question for that would be, what will it look like? Will physical cards be compatible? And will they use a dual slot, or will it be one slot? I have my prediction, but I want to know yours first.
I think it's going to be one. I think there was a leak a while back that, obviously none of those are confirmed, but there was a leak that basically showed how they could use one slot if they wanted to. Like here's like in theory how two different cartridges both fit here. So like the 3DS did with the DS games. So I think it's gonna be like that, and I just I can't wait to play this thing. Like I really think the last leak we got is pretty close. I think somebody inside confirmed that it was like an earlier design, but basically what it's gonna be. So I just want one right now because I never got an OLED. So like at this point, I'm waiting for the Switch 2 to be my OLED. Even though it's not going to have an OLED screen, but it is going to be a bigger screen. So, I mean, if the rumors are true. So,
Um, my prediction is that it might be a dual slot, and I wonder if there's any effect at all the fact that the MiG launcher, um, basically the modern R4 cart, is taking off, and I wonder if that has anything to do with them making perhaps something that is just new and they can't just knock off day one. And just
hmm.
that's what I've been thinking about. I wonder if they would make something proprietary to offset the fact that like people are getting the games too easily now. That's the
Well, that
only
was
that's
a
the only other
comment
thought
that
that
I
I
saw.
yeah.
I saw that comment a lot when this news broke of them confirming it. Was
Hmm.
a lot of people saying, doesn't that basically mean the new games will already be easy to pirate? And so that was a concern that I'm sure Nintendo has as well.
Yeah, see, I have no idea. Like, and we could say like if there's a dual slot, like can you just do it easily anyways? But I don't know. I could I just think I could see it being either way. Um, even though we have seen what we have seen. Um, like I can't be too convinced on anything uh at this point. Um last one for me, you had nothing on Mario Luigi. I'll give you some quick
Yeah, I
I'll give you
haven't started it yet.
some quick stats just before we move on. They are at a 79 on Metacritic as the time of this recording. Um, all positive and mixed reviews that I've read have talked about the pacing of this game and um, the unclear pacing in the beginning. For context, Superstar Saga is a 90 Metacritic must play, Paper Jam 76, Dream Team 81, Bowser's Inside Story is a 90, is also a must play. Partners in Time is 86. So these games are just all like very well reviewed.
Yeah, yeah, I can't wait. I can't wait to tackle it. I just wanted to finish Prime first, so that's what I was playing today. But I'll definitely by this weekend be onto it, and next time we talk, I'll have some thoughts.
Great. That's for next week. Okay.
Yep.
Well, uh, take it away.
This
Or
week we are doing the two Pokemon Stadium games, 1 and 2. Pokemon Stadium, going all the way back to me talking about how I've been playing Pokemon Blue lately. It's my metric for when I fell off with Pokemon. Like I was all in on Pokemon Blue. I collected all 151. I was ready for the game right away because I had Nintendo Power back then, and they had been hyping it up for like 4 months, basically saying like, "You guys don't understand. This is huge in Japan right now, and it's about to hit America, and you don't know what's coming." So like, I literally remember articles like that. So I was like, "Okay, you sold me," and I was on Pokemon Blue day one, and and my friend got the opposite. He got red, so we could get all three starters and stuff, and trade the exclusives and stuff like that. And then Yeah, I bought Super Smash Brothers on Nintendo 64, if you want to count that as a Pokemon game. Um, but I did buy Pokemon Pinball, grab that. And Pokemon Snap. I was a day one. We talked about that when we did that on the spotlight. But so basically, I was all in on the series. Is all I'm trying to say. The first thing I skipped was Pokemon Yellow because if I remember correctly, reviews at the time advised it. They were basically like, this is just like an update. And if you already have red and blue, there's not much new here for you except some new character sprites and some alternate dialogue. So you can skip this one. So I did. And then next, I think it was only 4 months later that the first Pokemon Stadium came out, um, and by then I had already given up. So in my mind, like I said at the beginning of this is where I was out on Pokemon. Pokemon Stadium 1 came out April of 1999 in Japan, March of 2000 in North America, and Pokemon Stadium 2 came out in December of 99 in Japan and March of 2001 in North America. So a year apart, each of them. So this week is the first time I played both of these games, and it's perfect timing because like Echoes of Wisdom I said when we were playing that really put me in a Pokemon mood. Um and yeah, so I had a good time with these games this week. I It's kind of a bummer that you have to use the rental Pokemon. But other than that, they're pretty fun.
Yeah, I mean, I was all in too. I mean, I remember I started with yellow and being upset that you can't do the item glitch in Pokemon
Oh
Yellow,
yeah.
and having to have like friends that had like Pokemon Blue that would help me out until I got a like a pre-owned copy
I
later on.
I used that item glitch to duplicate rare candy so that I basically raised a level 100 Beedrill because I knew that psychic Pokemon were weak to bug types, or at least it said they were. And I had a friend who every time we battled would use his Mewtwo, which was basically cheating. And I was trying to find a way to beat this kid's Mewtwo, and I cheated that level 100 Beedrill, and it still didn't do it.
Yeah, so uh, yeah, 2000 had Pokemon Gold. I was playing Pokemon Stadium, Pokemon trading card game on Game Boy Color. I played a bunch of that. Played a few hundred hours of Pokemon Pinball. Had almost a full Pokédex. Um, didn't play Pokemon Snap that much because I never liked that game. Didn't like the new one. Had a ton of fun playing Hey You Pikachu in '99, briefly,
Oh,
ever
I
so
left that off
briefly.
my list. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, ever so briefly, and was, as I said, was in a trading card game league, um, like once a week. So we're just all in, just Pokemon everything, just Pokemon everything. And Pokemon Stadium, I guess most of my memories are sleepovers, playing at friends' houses, mini games, just epic battles, and really seeing the 3D sprites of Pokemon that you've owned for a while was truly magical. The first time that you got to experience it, because you can immerse yourself enough to think that it's not just a sprite. It's like it's the actual Pokemon that you own, and you can put it in
Yeah.
this game. Of course, that's what's
Especially if it has
missing.
the same stats and move sets, unlike the rental Pokemon where you have to use what's there.
Right, right. So it was just like it felt like there was this relationship that they were making with these characters, similar to like a couple years later um, when we play Animal Crossing and we're visiting our friends' towns, and then the villagers leave and they go to your friend's town. and they're
Hmm.
sharing like letters and things. It's very like similar to that, to like you have this relationship with these NPCs that are being, transferred somewhere else. uh, yeah, I can't say enough about it. Like, I definitely played a lot more of the first game. I think the second game has problems with just with it being so late in the cycle and it not
Hmm.
being new enough. But oh my god, I played the first one so much. The 9 mini games alone, I probably have over 100 hours in. My favorite one being the Ekans, the ring toss,
Yeah,
which
that's a good one.
which a lot of my friends had problems with, so I just got really good at it. Um, and then there's so many other good ones. The lick of tongue, whatever it's called, sushi roundup, sushi lick up, whatever it's called. That one's
Yeah,
hilarious.
they're all very Mario Party esque.
Yeah, they just like, I think the balance of the first game, they just nailed it. Oh, I didn't know this. This is like I'm gonna call this my Sega Genesis Lion King experience, where you play a game, you don't know it's difficult because you don't have anything to compare it to, but it turns out to be like Dead Souls. Um, the Prime Cup Master Ball Round 2 is still considered to be one of the toughest challenges in any like real Pokemon game. And that's
Hmm.
so funny because I remember beating it as a kid and thinking that exact same thing. But I didn't know if I was like, am I just bad at this game, or um
Yeah.
but I remember being in the car afterwards and like being so excited and like giving my dad like the play by play of it. And I'm sure my dad was like,
Yeah.
cool, cool,
Yeah.
whatever. um, very much like
That's
a
awesome.
certain,
I love that story.
yeah, very much like a certain politician who recently said like stop with this Pikachu stuff. I'm sure my parents were always like, all right, that's cool, but
Yep.
always Pokemon, huh? It's always that. Rental only Pokemon 1 and 2. How do you feel comparing the two games your first time playing it?
I thought the second one did seem a little more advanced, even if it was more of the same. They did kind of each feel like half a game, but that's probably because I'm coming into it so late. Like, at the time, it probably wouldn't have felt that way, but like in retrospect, I'm like, you could put these together as a collection or something, and make it just one game for sure. So, yeah, I like the second one a little more.
Yeah, second one, it's just timing. Like back then, it
Hmm.
like we were gonna be on the GameCube soon, and it just wasn't new enough. Like I guess it is worth it because you could import, and yes, you could import in Stadium 2 as well. So it probably was worth $50 back then if you wanted to do that. But yeah, I think they got I think the reviews were not as good because it just was not different enough. And
Hmm.
people were moving on. And then I don't remember Pokemon Coliseum as well. I don't know if by then things evened out more. I do wish they would return to, like, I don't see why we don't have a Pokemon Stadium on Switch. I think it's just lost money. I think it's time.
Yeah,
I think it's time to
They
do
should
it.
definitely do that.
Um,
Especially with how much the Switch games have sold. Like Pokemon Violet and Scarlet alone were huge. So,
yeah, and I don't know. Like the online PvP space is. popular enough. So, but like make something that's
Hmm.
like for everyone, like offline, online, for kids, for casuals, for hardcore. Be able to import your Pokemon from Pokemon Home, so you don't have to import just from one generation. You can just import it all just from the app. Um, so why not? Do you know about Surfing Pikachu?
Very little. I know it was something that was like given away for like some sort of special event, but there's a way to cheat and get him in yellow. And I know that when you use surf, it shows a little surfing Pikachu in the game. But other than that, I don't know much.
Right, right. So in Pokemon Stadium, if you win the Prime Cup basketball with Pikachu in your party, uh, if you win doing that, you get an option. I guess it has to be an imported Pikachu. I guess it has to be an imported one, your own. Um, you get an option to teach your Pikachu surf, which at least back then was the only way to actually do that. So, but back in the day, like having a surfing Pikachu in Pokemon Yellow was like kind of a flex, you know. It was kind of
Yeah.
a cool thing, a cool thing to have, or you could like show if your friends didn't know, like it was kind of a cool thing to
Hmm.
show off. But yeah, he rode on a surfboard, which is weird, because like
Yeah.
because you yourself are riding on the Pokemon. So are you riding
Yeah.
on the surfboard with Pikachu? Or are you
Yeah.
riding on Pikachu who is riding on the surfboard? I don't know. Not sure.
The world may
I'm not
never know.
I'm not exactly sure about that. Um, so all the game modes I like, and I guess it's glaringly obvious that we are missing those imported Pokemon. It is a kind of a fun challenge to try and do it with the rental Pokemon. The rental Pokemon are not meant to make the game easy. Uh, so it
Yeah.
would be a challenge to try and complete the game only with rental Pokemon because you get no autonomy of as far as your move sets. So there's that. Where do you rank these games? Who do you recommend these games to?
So I put these games right below Yoshi's Story. It's a big clump of Nintendo 64 now. So I've got Yoshi's Story, and then Pokemon Stadium 2, and then Pokemon Stadium, and then are the two Oracle games for Zelda. So that puts them at number 27 and 28 on my list so far. That's a pretty good neighborhood to be in. It's definitely in the games that I enjoyed section, not in my favorite games section, but definitely still in the
Oh,
I'll play this again area. um, so yeah, it's a good neighborhood to be in. I'd obviously recommend it to anyone interested in the history of the Pokemon franchise, anyone who wants to know what would have been a mind-blowing game for us back in 1999. Check this out. But other than that, I think modern Pokemon has this experience pretty much covered. Maybe that's why they don't have a stadium game now, is that the stadium experiences in the campaign modes are so good. So I don't know. What are your thoughts?
well, I have top 10. Got a new
Oh,
top 10, which is gonna be big from now on. I put Pokemon Stadium, the first one, at number 8 on my list, which is right above N64 Mario Tennis, but right below Super Mario Brothers 2. Let me see. Yes, my top 7 games are all either Mario or Zelda. So this is my biggest one outside of that. Trying to pop up. Okay, there we go. The second one I put at number 36, below Wave Race. Okay, yeah, I recommend either game. I would definitely recommend the first one if you were to play it. Play it in order. Um,
yeah,
so
for sure. There's no reason to play these out of order. You're not going to get anything out of it. So
So there's that. It's been a big Pokemon week, and what are we
Hmm.
playing next week?
Yeah, I don't think the sound is going to come through for the listeners. We'll figure that out down the
It,
line. But
it will it will
here's the
it'll
randomizer.
come through on the video if you want to do it.
Oh, it will? Okay.
It
So
will come
yeah,
on.
I'll
Yeah, it
hit
will
that
come on during
randomizer
video.
and we'll find out what we're playing. Okay, so this is a game that's box art has been always something I'm like, what the heck is this thing? And I don't think I've checked it out yet, so now's the time. It's a NES game called The Immortal. Do you know that it's got the really weird box art on there? Like I think it's like a creepy old guy.
Right, right. I haven't played this one. Okay.
I haven't either. I know nothing about this game, so it's time to learn why they thought this was a worthy addition to the Switch Online service, I guess. Um, and we'll be talking about that game next week. So tune in. We're gonna try to keep this video thing going. I'll get a better background. This was kind of the beta week to test this out. So yeah, we'll be more prepared for that next week. Thank you all for listening. And we will see you back here for some of the Immortal and whatever the heck else is going on in the world of Nintendo next time on Nintendo Therapy. See you then.